Hey, this ThinkerThunker. Welcome to my update on the alleged Trailcam Bigfoot here. I have the story on this thing now. First question, did this come from a Trailcam? No. Is it some sort of mask somebody made? No. Is it artwork? No. Is it CGI? No. Is it some sort of weird sculpture somebody made? Well, according to a widely known story, no. We're going to cover all of that. Let's see. Do we get to see any more of this now? Yes. Along with the new information, I have a full image now of its full face, and I found out something really incredible about this guy. Can't wait to show you. Let's go check it out. Okay, hold on to your shorts. Here is the full head in all its glory, and we even have it in color, sort of. It's a very 1980s looking color photograph. And if you think it looks weird or fake, you would look weird or fake too if your head had been dried and mounted since like 1987 or 89. The story is even famous enough regionally that it has a name and its own brochure. It's called The Legend or The Creature of Sugar Flat Road, as seen on hard copy and Strange Universe. And here, all you have to do is search for The Creature of Sugar Flat Road. You're going to find tons of information. I'm not going to go into great detail. Here the sign said, "Is this an alien? Ran over by car on Sugar Flat Road in Lebanon, Tennessee, January 5th, 1989. The date varies. I've seen 87, 89. This severed head sat in the window of some charming little antique shops, or an antique shop there in Lebanon for years and years. There's tons of backstory on that, and is still out there somewhere. Kind of interesting to think that the evidence that the world has been searching for is in somebody's garage, or storage unit, or in their closet. Okay, so just paraphrasing the brochure here. A married man one night was out with some lady that was not his wife on a dirt road. Who knows why? It was Sugar Flat Road, and the locals there considered it to be the lover's lane, and this couple let time get away from them, so maybe feeling a little guilty, late getting home to their spouses or whatever, they took off in a hurry. And rounding a corner, it says two creatures ran out into the road and they hit one of them. Well, it didn't say two upright beings, it said two creatures. That leads me to believe that the two creatures were on all fours. So the guy stopped. He thought he had hit a deer, went back to check on it, and could not make out what it was, and was also getting a little freaked out because the other creature was over in the trees on the other side, now screaming. So the guy drug creature one out of the road, covered it up a bit, and took off. Went home. And the story goes that he got a little drunk that night. Drank the bigger part of a bottle of whiskey. I guess he might have been feeling, it's quite a bit of excitement. Had an illicit affair, and then possibly run over a human in a costume. So that would probably cause one to have a drink to calm your nerves. He couldn't sleep. He went back out that night, found the location, found the body, and was going to bury it. He had a good look at it, so I'm guessing he had a flashlight with him this time. And he decided then and there that it was not a human because it was covered in fur head to toe. So he was going to bury it, and then I guess he thought that he had decided that he would want a trophy from this. So he took the shovel, severed the head, and that at some point later had the head stuffed, and then at some other point in the future, maybe perhaps sold this to an antique shop, and the rest is history. I even found some video clips featuring the severed head, and here this guy is kind of ghouling it up, I guess, in some little promo for his whatever kind of shop. He's got the severed head there. So what I'm going to do, so that you'll see that I didn't stretch the head any. Here, I've put a line. Let me zoom in on this, see what we're doing. There, I've got a line running across the shop owner's mouth, and I'll use that to line this up and drag it down a little so that we can see them better. Now I'm going to run a line across the center of his eye. And that's pretty freaky, that this thing's head is so much bigger than the human on the right that its eye is that far above the line. That's a big, long head right there. Okay, quick refresher before we go look at the full Trailcam face. This is the orc from Lord of the Rings, one of the orcs. It's the, oh, they look tasty orc. That's him. No matter how much latex goop they pile in his face, I can tell and prove he's a human because his face lines up perfectly with these three little measurement bars that I've got here. This is something I'm writing about in a book. From the center of its eye to the center of its face, it matches perfectly. From the top of its nose to the bottom of his nose, perfect match. And then the gap between his nose and mouth, perfect match. He lines up, and so does Rihanna. So does Apollo Creed, Carl Weathers. So does Harrison Ford. Your face, my face would line up in there perfectly. Billions and billions of normal human adult faces are going to line up perfectly on these three measurement bars. And it's not a coincidence. It's not an accident. It's because we're all part of the same species. So consider these three face measurement bars to be like a species identifier. Okay, so billions and billions and billions of normal adult humans from all over the planet, their faces match up these three little measurement bars perfectly. For a face to not match these, that would be extraordinary. That would be unworldly. All right? Here is one such face. Look, its eyes line up, but its nose is a full 1/3 shorter. That's incredible. You'll never see a normal adult human on the planet with a nose that short top to bottom. If I make its nose line up, now its eyes are gigantic and wrapping around the side of its head. Here is another face that doesn't match. Look how far off the eye bar and the nose bar have to be to make the gap between its mouth and nose match. There's no way to stretch this face out and make it line up on these human face bars. Unless, of course, I cheat and do something like that, but then you're distorting it. And here is why that is so weird. Okay, almost done here. Here are the three measurement bars that I drew in special for the white giant's bizarrely proportioned face. The odds of finding another face on this planet to match this perfect would be astronomical against that happening. And yet, the Trailcam face matches perfectly on two of the three marks. From the center of its eye to the center of its face, matches perfectly. From the top of its nose down to the bottom of its teeny tiny little short nose, they both match perfectly. So now we are about to go see the full face of the Trailcam, Bigfoot, whatever, mystery beast, to see where its mouth is. The odds of its mouth being in this exact place are astronomical in that all three of these measurements would line up perfectly. Let's go check it out. Okay, so here is the moment of truth. Time to see the sugar flat road creature full face. Boom. There we go. And I even have a color version right there. We see it's kind of a weird 80s saturated color, but that is its full face. And by the way, we've heard countless reports of people seeing big, large furry giants covered in thick fur head to toe and their faces, chest, and hands have a short fur, just like we're seeing here. So now the measurements. We already know the eye bar is a perfect match. We know the teeny tiny short nose bar is a perfect match. But we've got a problem on the lip gap bar right here, because the cheating, despicable Hannibal Lecter husband ran over this thing with its truck and then chopped its head off. So here's what I did. I drew a line right through the center of the white giant's mouth. Now I'm going to drop this back on. Look at that. The corners of its mouth line up perfectly with this mouth bar. That means, ladies and gentlemen, we have two big furry giants, big giant heads that line up practically perfectly on all three key facial species identifying measurements. The odds of that happening and these not being the same species are astronomical. So either these two are the exact same species, or there is a master mask maker out there somewhere that made both of them, like say 30 years apart, 40 years apart, hundreds of miles apart, or there are others, but they all make masks that adhere to the exacting specifications. Are you hearing how weird, how bizarre, how grasping at straws it is now to want these to be a mask? So for anybody who does still believe these are masks, the burden of proof is now 100% on your shoulders to go out and find nothing short of the guy or gal that made these masks. And you're going to have to interview them. You're going to have to get some footage. You're going to have to get something. You're going to have to see some other masks they made. And when you do this, when you get this interview that you're never going to get, ask them why they decided on this mask to damage the teeth and dental structure show and the gums and break all of these teeth. Do you know how much time it would take to create all these little unique broken teeth? And why? Why would a mask maker do that? Just so they could cook up some creepy story about some cheating husband crashing into one? I mean, do you hear how desperate it sounds now to want these to be masked? All right, so that is all I've got on the Sugar Flat Road creature for now. I hope there's a part three to this. I hope somebody gets out there and finds where this head is, or finds where that body is buried. There is DNA evidence there. This could be the thing that changes this. That, you know, finally the proof that the world has been waiting for, and it's just sitting out there in a storage unit waiting on somebody to find it. Get out there and find this. All right, everybody. Special thanks as always to my patrons and to my YouTube members. Your monthly support makes all the time I spend making these videos, doing this research and writing and doing all the creating that I do. You make it all possible. Thank you so very much. It's $1 a month, some of you more. Thank you all so very much. Take care.